Has offered to help negotiate a truce between Israel and the Palestinians as violence between the two sides escalates.
100 Palestinians have been reported killed and over 500 injured. And U.S. President Barack Obama has told Israeli leaders that the United States is ready to broker a ceasefire. With more on that story, we now turn to Paul Yi at the News Center.
Well, world leaders, including Obama, are calling for restraint as Israel's offensive against Hamas enters a fourth day of bloodshed. UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon had earlier appealed for a ceasefire while calling on the Security Council to take action before the situation spirals into a full-blown war. Our Kwon Soa has more.
The U.S. says it's willing to broker a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. The White House said U.S. President Barack Obama told Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on the phone Thursday that he's ready to help end the escalating hostilities on the Gaza Strip. He also reiterated that Israel has the right to defend itself against Palestinians' rocket attacks. Secretary of State John Kerry spoke to his Egyptian counterparts, trying to make him use Egypt's influence in easing the situation, as the country played an important role in brokering an Israel-Hamas ceasefire 2 years ago. The surge in rocket fire was triggered amid an Israeli crackdown on Hamas members, which began after the abduction and killing of 3 Israeli teenagers last month. A suspected revenge murder of a Palestinian teenager followed a few days later. Hamas has reportedly launched over 550 rockets into civilian areas in Israel. Israel responded with over 500 airstrikes, part of their Operation Protective Edge, launched earlier in the week. UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon made a passionate appeal for a ceasefire during an emergency session, saying Gaza was on a knife edge.
Today, we face the risk of an all-out escalation in Israel and Gaza, with the threat of a ground offensive still palpable and preventable only if Hamas stops rocket firing.
The UN chief called on the international community to work with Israeli and Palestinian leaders to stop the situation from escalating and said the region cannot afford another full-blown war. Kwon Soa, Arirang News.